You woke up this morning, and for just one breath, one fragile, half-conscious breath before your mind switched back on, you felt okay. And then it came back. Like a wave that never fully goes out. The heaviness landed on your chest before your feet even touched the floor. Before you checked your phone. Before the notifications, the emails, the crushing awareness of everything still unresolved in your life rushed back in. It was already there. Waiting. Maybe it's a situation that hasn't moved no matter how long you've prayed. Maybe it's a fear about your finances, your health, your family. Something you can't fully name but absolutely feel. Like a shadow that follows you into every room. That feeling, that quiet, relentless, chest-tightening dread, that is the battlefield no one talks about. The silent one. The one that happens before the world wakes up, where you fight your heaviest battles completely alone. But I need you to hear something today from the God who has been watching you fight that battle every single morning. Something unexpected is about to happen in your life. Not something you planned, not something you earned, something He has been quietly, lovingly arranging in the very silence you mistook for absence. Stay with me, because by the end of this, that wave that has been terrifying you will look completely different. The truth. I want to speak to the part of you that is exhausted from pretending. Not pretending to unbelievers, but pretending to yourself. Pretending the anxiety isn't as heavy as it is. Pretending that the doubt you felt at 2 o'clock this morning, staring at the ceiling with your phone face down on the nightstand, didn't shake you. You've been the strong one, the faithful one, the one who still shows up, even while privately whispering into the dark. But is He good to me? Does He actually see what I'm carrying? That whisper is not failing faith. That is the honest cry of a soul that still believes God is real enough to answer. You do not cry out to someone you've already given up on. The very act of still reaching, still listening, still being here, that is faith. Worn thin maybe, but faith. Biblical story. I want to take you to a garden at night. Gethsemane. The air is cool. Olive trees cast long shadows in the moonlight. The disciples have fallen asleep. And there, completely alone, with His face pressed into the dirt, is Jesus, trembling, weeping. Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. The Son of God, asking for a different way. He felt the dread. He felt the loneliness. And what the Father sent was not a removal of the pain, but an angel to strengthen Him for it. Personal application. That is the God who is with you right now. Not a God who demands performed courage. A God who, when you press your face into the ground and say, I don't know if I can do this, sends strength to meet you exactly there. Think about the last time you felt inexplicable calm in the middle of something that should have broken you. That drive home when you were crying. And then, without explanation, something quiet settled over you. That was not your own resilience. That was God, present inside the moment you thought you were most alone. He has been carrying this weight with you all along. Every sleepless night, every silent morning, every prayer whispered into a ceiling that felt like concrete. But what I need you to understand, because what I'm about to show you will permanently change how you read every unanswered prayer you've ever prayed, is this. The silence you've been living in is not what you think it is. The truth. There is a silence from God that feels like punishment. And there is a silence from God that is one of the most profound acts of love He ever performs. From the inside, they feel absolutely identical. You have been praying, faithfully, persistently. You've brought the same need to God so many times you almost feel embarrassed to bring it again. And still the door is closed, the situation unchanged. And in that hollow silence, a thought keeps sliding across your mind. Maybe I'm just not the kind of person God moves for. Maybe I've made too many mistakes for this to turn around. Refuse that thought. because what you are experiencing is not God's verdict on your worth. It is divine timing, which looks like silence, but is one of the most active things God ever does. Biblical story. Let me tell you about Hannah. Year after year, she journeys to the temple. Year after year, she leaves without the one thing her heart cannot stop wanting. The other wife in her household taunts her without mercy. Her husband loves her but cannot reach the specific grief she carries. And when she finally breaks open before God in prayer, so desperate that no sound comes out, only trembling lips, the priest Eli accuses her of being drunk. She is doing everything right. And the silence continues. Not because God wasn't listening, but because he was timing it. God was not only answering Hannah, he was answering her so completely, so abundantly, that the overflow of her answered prayer would touch an entire nation. Her blessing was never secondary. It was so large, so full, so overflowing with grace, that it couldn't be contained to one life alone. Personal application. What if the thing you've been aching for is so much larger than you currently understand, that God has been using this exact silence to make you large enough to hold it without dropping it? What if the delay isn't a door closing, but a foundation being laid? You are sitting in your home or your car, exhausted, wondering when something is going to shift. And the whole time, in the invisible places, God is building something your current self doesn't yet have the capacity to receive. Hannah wept in the silence for years, and then one ordinary day, the silence shattered. And here is what I need you to stay for, because there is something God does in the silence that he simply cannot do in the noise. And once you understand what that is, you will never be afraid of a quiet season again. The truth. Right now, at this exact moment, while you are holding your unanswered questions, God is moving pieces you cannot see. You are not watching a story that has spun out of God's control. You are in the middle of a story whose most powerful chapters haven't been written yet. And the author, the one who knit you together before you had a name, has not put down his pen. He is still writing. And what he is writing toward you right now is something you did not see coming. Biblical story. Picture a 17-year-old boy at the bottom of a dry pit. His name is Joseph. Looking down at him are the faces of his own brothers, the people he trusted most, who put him there. Above him, he can hear them eating a meal, laughing, unbothered. He is sold to traders. In Egypt, a false accusation lands him in prison. He helps the royal cupbearer, who promises to remember him, then forgets him for 2 full years. Every chapter looks like a dead end. Every turn looks like proof that God has lost the thread. Until one morning, Pharaoh has a dream. And in one single, unexpected day, Joseph walks out of prison chains onto the second highest throne on earth. Not one chapter was wasted. Not the pit, not the prison, not the forgotten years. Every dark page was the setup for something that would feed nations and save lives. Personal application. Your pit has a purpose. Your prison has a purpose. The season where you checked your phone every day, waiting for an answer that never came, that has a purpose. God does not waste a single page of your story. Not one morning of confusion. Not one tear cried into a pillow so no one would hear. Not one prayer whispered in a parking lot before walking into something you didn't know how to handle. Joseph couldn't see the palace from the pit, but the palace was already being prepared. Your palace is already being prepared. If something in your spirit is stirring right now, if you know this word is for you, declare it in the comments. God is writing my story. Let that be your act of faith today. Because the same hidden hand that turned a pit into a palace is on your life right now. And the moment it reveals what it has been building in the silence will be the moment you finally understand why every hard chapter was necessary. The truth. I need to go somewhere real with you now. There is a place beyond the worship playlists and the Bible apps and the Sunday morning version of faith, where the performance has completely run out. where you are not manufacturing spiritual energy anymore, where you are just raw, quiet, and empty. That place is not evidence that your faith has failed. God does not require your strength as the entry fee to his presence. He never has. His love for you is not contingent on your capacity to hold yourself together. Biblical story. Picture Elijah, not on Mount Carmel where fire fell from heaven, but the day after. One day after the greatest miracle of his ministry, he is alone in the wilderness, physically destroyed. He collapses under a broom tree, a small, scrubby desert shrub, and says, "It is enough, Lord. I have nothing left." This is the man who called fire from heaven. And he is done, not because his faith was weak, but because he was human and he had given everything he had. God's response? No rebuke, no theology lecture. An angel comes, touches him gently, and says, "Arise and eat. The journey is too great for you." Warm bread, fresh water, tenderness. The God of the universe kneeling beside his exhausted servant, tending to him like a father who simply sees his child is worn out. Personal application. That is the God you are dealing with right now. Not a God keeping score of how consistent your quiet times have been. Not a God calculating whether your faith is polished enough to deserve a breakthrough. A God who sees you sitting in your car in the driveway, too tired to go inside, staring at the steering wheel, and sends the gentlest strength to meet you right there. If you have been carrying guilt about how depleted you feel, lay it down. The breaking point is not where God gives up on you. It is where he steps in most completely. When your hands are finally open, not clenched around your own strategies, that is precisely when he can place into them what he has been holding for you all along. You are Elijah under the broom tree. And this exhaustion is not the end of your story. It is the exact sacred moment just before the angel arrives. And what God places in your open hands from this place of surrender will be so much better than anything you could have seized in your striving. Because the unexpected thing he is about to release into your life doesn't begin after you've recovered. It begins right here. The truth. I want you to receive this as a word from the living God, spoken over your specific, unrepeatable, deeply loved life. Whatever you have been waiting for, whatever you have prayed about until the words ran out, whatever you carry in the secret places no one else has been invited into, God has not been passive. He has not been distant. He has been moving in the invisible, arranging people you haven't met yet, closing doors that look like opportunities but would have derailed you, preparing a moment so precisely timed, so unmistakably his, that when it arrives, you won't need anyone to explain it. You will simply know. Biblical story. Remember the edge of the sea. The Israelites stand at the water. Behind them, Pharaoh's chariots. The ground trembling beneath an unstoppable force closing in from behind. And in front of them, deep, wide, utterly impassable water. No plan B, no backup route. Every practical mind arriving at the same conclusion. It is over. And Moses lifts his staff. Not because he had done this before, but because God said move, and he chose to trust the voice over the verdict of his eyes. The sea opened, walls of water rising on either side, and the people who moments before were paralyzed with terror walked through on dry ground. Not damp ground, dry ground. God does not just make a way, he makes a good way. Personal application. That obstacle in front of you right now, the one your mind returns to at 3 a.m., the one you've run every scenario around and found no exit, God sees it. He is not surprised by it. He is not scrambling. He is working through it. The unexpected thing coming is not going to look like the solution you mapped out on your best day. It will arrive from a direction you were not watching. It will carry the fingerprints of someone who sees dimensions of your story you have never had access to, and who loves you far too specifically to give you a generic answer. This is your season of the open sea. And God is saying to you what he said to Moses. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Not strive, not earn, not perform your way to the miracle. Stand still and watch what I do. It is already in motion, moving toward you with the full, unstoppable love of a God who has never, not once, broken a promise to anyone who trusted him. Before we close, I want to pray with you. Right here, in whatever room you're in, whatever you're carrying, place your hand over your heart and agree with me. Father, thank you for this person, for every morning they chose to get up when the heaviness was still there, for every prayer they prayed when they felt nothing back, for every moment they kept going when stopping would have been so much easier. Let the unexpected breakthrough come. Let the hidden hand that has been moving in the invisible make itself known in a way they cannot miss. Replace the anxiety on their chest with peace that has no human origin. And let the joy of what you are about to do begin rising in their spirit right now, before they see a single thing change with their eyes. You are faithful. You have always been faithful. And you are not finished yet. In Jesus' name, amen. If this word found you today, subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so that every day a fresh word is waiting for you. Not just in the hard seasons, every single day. And remember where we started. You woke up this morning, and before your feet even touched the floor, that wave hit your chest. Heavy, waiting, familiar. But here is what you carry with you now. You are not someone who woke up afraid of the wave. You are someone who serves the God who made the wave, who split the sea, who walked on the water, and who this morning, while you were still lying in the dark with that heaviness on your chest, was already walking across it, straight towards you,